What's up, guys? Welcome to BitCast episode 96 for the week of January 30th, 2022. I'm your host, Jake Martin, and in the studio this week, we have Mark Erickson.
Howdy, folks.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. And looking nice back there with your national park posters on a string. Have you been to those national parks?
Yes. Well, not all of them are national parks. Some of them are just
Places that you should go?
Pisgah National Forest right here.
Ooh.
That's Looking Glass Falls in particular.
Beautiful.
But yes.
Beautiful. Nice. I like that. Well, hey, if you guys didn't know, Mark and I are big Nintendo fans, but that doesn't mean that we only talk about Nintendo. Mark's also an Xbox guy, and I'm a PlayStation guy. So between the two of us, we actually cover a wide gamut of video game news. And that's great for you listeners today, because we're going to be talking about all of the games in 2022 that have confirmed dates and those that do not, and sort of just like what we're looking forward to, and just kind of just giving a run of the show just to see what we have to look forward to in the near future. So if you're like us and you kind of just want to think ahead on what you might have to spend money on, this is a great podcast to listen to. But that's not all we're talking about today. We're going to be talking about what we've been playing, which I'm very excited about. But before we do that, quick housekeeping, leave reviews and write into us if you are a listener of the show. We are on all the podcasting platforms, but most recently we've added to Anchor, which allows us to do cool like voice messages. You guys can like leave voice messages on the platform, and we can hear those on the show. And then also we can leave polls, and you can vote on those as well. So that's probably the best place to do it, but Spotify is also synced up with Anchor, and you are able to leave reviews there as well. I think they just added that feature recently, so check that out if you haven't yet. Drink of the show today, Mark. I don't know if you have anything with you, but I have a glass of Zach Brown Cabernet Sauvignon.
Lovely.
What you got on your side?
I got some tea.
Nice.
Some gingerbread spice tea.
That sounds lovely.
On sale after the Christmas season.
Yeah, that's yeah.
It's still delicious.
Hey, last time not last time, but I remember you talking on the podcast last time how you would get like discount. What was it like? You would like go somewhere. It was a grocer or something like that.
Oh, yes.
It had like
over in Trenton, Georgia, we got Hunter Salvage Grocery.
Yeah, almost expired stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
So hey, is that where you got that at as well? The tea, or is that from somewhere else?
No, I think this is actually a Thrive Market find that my wife Sarah got.
Nice. Always about those market finds, those deals, those bargains. The wine that I have is my wife and mine, Hannah's favorite go-to cheap bottle of wine. You know,
nice.
Kid's down, he's asleep. We had a rough week this week, so we're like, this is nice. A nice glass of wine at night is nice. And then I don't know if. I want you to start off first here, Mark. I want to hear, what are you playing?
I've got a few things. Right now, kind of bouncing back and forth between Halo Infinite and Riders Republic.
Oh, yeah.
Halo's been really cool. I've enjoyed it a lot. I did a lot of the multiplayer first. I kind of let my Game Pass expire for a bit. Mm-hmm. And some other stuff. Thankfully, multiplayer is free to play. So that was... uninterrupted.
So crazy. So cool.
I bit the bullet and got the battle pass. I've been enjoying that, and it's kind of worked out well. My wife Sarah really enjoys watching me play that. Mm-hmm. Like, she's not normally one to kind of just hang around and watch me play games, but she loves it. So got a lot of time for that.
What does she like about it? Are you playing the campaign, or are you still doing multiplayer only?
Kind of flipping back and forth. She really likes multiplayer. I think she kind of enjoys kind of like helping me spot people. And she grew up watching her brothers play shooter games too, so I think it's kind of nostalgic. She's really bored with the campaign, so whenever like I'm trying to play it, she's always trying to like egg me to like try out the multiplayer.
Just go to multiplayer instead. It's more fun to watch.
Yeah.
It is crazy how like if you're watching someone play, like you have so much, like when you're playing the game, you don't like your peripheral vision like just really cuts out, and you only kind of see certain things, and the person that's watching you play sees everything still. Yeah. They're like, hey, there's a person on your right. It's like, I didn't even see him.
Yes. So she's actually super helpful.
I'm dead.
Yeah. Campaign's great too. The grapple shot is just incredible.
Game changer.
Yeah, game breaker, but in all the best ways.
Yeah.
I see why Breath of the Wild didn't want to add in the hook shot, but at the same time, I really hope they do add it into the sequel.
Oh gosh, man.
Just the mobility is insane.
I don't think there's anything that Breath of the Wild 2 could or could not do that would make me not want to play that game. You know, like
That's fair.
they could go a totally different direction, and I'll be like, I'm still playing it. Like I'm still so excited to try it out.
Oh yes.
But Hookshot would be a nice addition.
It's on my wish list now. Beyond that, doing some Riders Republic. That's the extreme sports game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good time. I enjoy that stuff.
Is that free to play also?
No.
Okay.
It's on sale a good bit.
Yeah, I keep on seeing like maybe that's what it is. Sales go up for it or something like that. I need to jump in. I need to jump into that. I wish it was. Is it cross-platform?
I think it is. Yeah.
Then we should definitely jump on. That'd be kind of fun.
Absolutely.
You can show me the ropes. Show me the ropes.
Yeah. One quick fun thing about that is it's kind of a sequel to Steep, but adds in like bikes too, and you can just switch sports like on the fly immediately. So you can literally be jetpacking around and just switch to a bike in midair and just fall for a mile.
That's awesome. And hope you stick the landing, don't die.
Exactly.
What happens in that game if you do, like, can you like wipe out, and like how does it work?
Yeah, you wipe out, you just mash the B button and it kind of resets you immediately. There's also like Forza Horizon, there's a backtrack button. But I think if you're in an event, it usually punishes you for that. So it doesn't like you doing that.
Okay. Nice.
You got a few options. And then finally, I finally wanted to shout out we're playing the Stardew Valley board game.
Okay.
It is a cooperative board game.
Okay.
It's based on Stardew Valley, which is near and dear to both Sarah and my heart.
Yeah.
It encapsulates the game well. It is surprisingly difficult because you have a limited number of turns. Like it gives you a year in air quotes.
Okay.
And you have a set of goals you're trying to get done that year. And we've only played it once, but we won like on the last turn, but we really had to let some rules squeak by and kind of flub some stuff to make it happen.
Have you played any other co-op board games before?
I haven't.
Okay. Because I was going to ask you if it was similar to anything that I've played, which is like Forbidden Island or Pandemic. Gotcha. But yeah, like how would you stack it up? Like, do you think it's a well-made board game, and is it one that you would recommend to people?
It's hard to tell not knowing much other like cooperative board games. If you're a fan of Stardew Valley, like absolutely, you can give it a 2 thumbs up recommend. Because it's also just like aesthetically really nice. Like pieces are well made.
I was just gonna ask, how are the components? Because that's a big part of the board game.
Yes. It's very nice. Like there's kind of all new artwork for it. Like it doesn't just reuse stuff from the game. It's like new hand-drawn stuff, and it all looks great. Yeah. So big fan of the components. If you like the game, you'll be into it. If you're into board games, I would recommend it. You might have to do some of your own research to make sure it's something you'd enjoy. But
okay. Yeah. No. I mean, I am a habitual like if the board game looks cool, I usually end up picking it up.
That's fair.
I have a very large collection of board games, and we've had to start putting them down into storage like over time. And I always forget which ones are in storage and which ones are like in our quick access in our closet up here. And I'm like, dang it, that one's downstairs. So I have to go downstairs and grab it usually. We just did that recently for a game called Patchwork, which is like my wife and I play a lot of 2-player board games because obviously,
nice.
There's 2 of us, and it's just easier when we're dealing with the kid in the middle of the week. We're like, we'll just play a quick 2-player board game.
There you go.
So it's always nice to find those good ones. But so far, our favorites have been, Patchwork's really fun. Jaipur, which is like a trading card management game, and then 7 Wonders Duel. You've probably heard of 7 Wonders, but 7 Wonders Duel is a 2-player version of it.
Got it.
And it's really fun. But if you think Stardew Valley is a pretty fun co-op, then you might have just sold me. And how much do you know? How much does it cost?
Oh, it's 60 or 70.
Yeah,
it's kind of up there for games, but
that's usually how it goes with like the smaller run smaller run, like, you know, builds, you know, it's a small team probably that put that board game together, so they charge
Yeah.
a little more, and I'm happy to pay it when it's a cool IP that I care about. So
Yeah.
I will definitely put that on my list. And then I mean, if you want to, like, you know, invite me over to play sometime, we can do that
Oh,
too.
we can arrange that.
That'd be
We can
also
make
a
that
good
happen.
option as well. Well, cool. So for me, exciting. I have a new game on my list that I've been playing. So I got Pokemon Legends Arceus. I picked
Oh,
that up, and I've been playing that. I got it Friday, and I streamed a little bit Saturday and Sunday, and I played a lot today. Um, and overall, it is good.
okay.
Um, I think what I like about it is that they refined a lot of, like, the boring parts of other Pokemon games if you've played them before. It
Sure.
is
Yeah.
very much not that. It's open world. You're running around, and it is like the dream of just you see a Pokemon out in the wild, and you can just throw a Pokeball at it and catch it.
Yeah.
That is it. The major downside is it is ugly. Like that. Like
Mm,
the complaints across the internet are very true. Like, can confirm it is an ugly game. Which is really sad because, like, it is really cool. And I hope that they release patches for it to fix it up. But
yeah.
I've been loving it, man. Like, the side quests are fun. You just kind of go, just roam some giant field with all these Pokemon around you, and you have to, like, go catch certain ones and bring them back, and it's neat, and the music's really good too. That's a big thing for
Oh,
me.
nice.
I've realized that's like a huge thing for me in games is if it's got a good soundtrack, I can usually overlook some of the negatives. I'm like, if I enjoy listening to this, then, like, I can just imagine it's a better game, you know.
Yeah. There you go.
I can just pretend it's really pretty and, like, just ignore some things. Um,
I would like to say on it, I haven't played it yet, but I've really enjoyed seeing all the clips on Twitter and just like not, I guess they're bugs technically, but they're really endearing bugs.
oh, like
Like
what?
there was one I saw of a guy going after a Snorlax, like big thick buddy.
Oh yeah.
Uh, the Snorlax does some dash and just like zips off screen. The guy turns around and the Snorlax is just on top of a tree, like giant pine tree, 50 feet away.
Okay, did you? I don't know if you sent me that, but I have seen the exact clip you're talking about. He
Okay,
just, like,
yeah.
goes flying away. Like, I don't know what happened in that clip. And I've encountered that same Snorlax.
Okay.
He did not do that for me, sadly. But yeah, Pokemon will get stuck in trees every now and then. That is a thing. I saw a weasel, which is like a little water weasel, real cute, and he did a dash attack towards me, and then he ended up getting stuck, like, really high up in the tree, and I was like, what is he doing up there? And then I initiated a battle, and I was fighting him from the tree. Like, he was, like, way up in the tree, and my Pokemon was, like, hitting him in the
That's
tree.
incredible.
So I don't think that was supposed to happen, but hey, it was great.
Can't complain. Yeah.
So it's been fun. I've been enjoying that. It is very grindy. There's, like, a lot of stuff you have to do, but it's been fun. I've been playing the crap out of Tales of Arise, which is like a giant JRPG. And what I want to say about this is that it's a game that is very predictable, like every other JRPG out there. Like, you know, oh no, there's a big bad guy. We got to stop him, but we got to collect these 7 orbs first, and then we can amass it. Oh wait, no, the orbs didn't work. Now we have to find our friends again and fight him again. Like, that is pretty much the story. But what I love about it is it's
Nice.
very, like, fine-tuned, and there's just, again, like, just kind of like Pokemon, they did a lot to make it just an easy game to progress through. Like,
Sure.
and when I'm taking care of my kid, I think I was telling you this at lunch the other day, but, like, when I'm taking care of my kid and, like, I don't want to have to think too much, it's a great game for that because you can kind of just go through the motions and have fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then last on the list, which is a great one, Paper Mario for 64. I've been still kind of grinding through that one and having a great time. I mean, nothing but
Very
good
nice.
things to say about that game. If you haven't played that game and you have a Switch, you should definitely just pay for a month of Nintendo Switch Online and just play that game because it's so great. The writing's good. I love the combat system. I know, Mark, you said numbers. You didn't like the numbers on screen, but it really isn't
My
even like,
nemesis.
it's not even like a numbers game, really. It's just like, you know, it's great. It's great. Play it if you haven't.
Also, I wanted to shout out for you. That's the game that got you to Twitch affiliate, right?
It is. It is. I think, yeah. Paper Mario. I was streaming that, and I made it to Twitch affiliate, and I've got 10 subs now. So I mean, I'm basically rolling in the cash. I'm made of millions.
There you go.
And this, I'm going to quit my job soon, and this is all I'm going to do. That is a lie.
Plugging
That is a
away.
lie. If I have any any of my employers listening, I'm joking. But yeah, it's been fun, man. It's my philosophy is it's something I'm already doing. I'm already playing games, so why not stream and just kind of let people hang out and say what's up. All right, man. You ready to move on to the topic of the show?
Let's do it.
All right, games of 2022. We have on our list first the confirmed video games, and then we'll have our to be confirmed, which arguably are the ones most people are probably the most excited for. Because really, the confirmed dates, I don't know about you when you're looking at this list, Mark, but I was like, this is kind of a skimpy year so far. Like, there's some cool things on this list. But
I was just realizing there's a lot more in to be confirmed than in the confirmed list.
Yes, which makes me nervous. And some of the ones on to be confirmed, I definitely feel better about coming out this year. But some of them, I'm like, I don't know. I could see that getting pushed into 2023. So here's to hoping. But yeah, I'll run through the confirmed, and then we'll just kind of stop on some that we want to talk about. So, and then if we don't really have anything to say, we'll just skip over it. So in January, since we already are kind of past that at this point, we had Pokemon Legends Arceus on the 28th and Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, which is Uncharted 4 and, oh gosh, what is the other part of that collection called? I should know this, but it was the DLC / like add-on for Uncharted 4 that featured.
Is that Lost Legacy?
I think so, yes. Uncharted Lost Legacy. Well, now Lost Legacy, yeah, maybe. I think you're right.
I'm pulling that out of cultural osmosis. I don't know for sure.
Cultural osmosis. I think you're right. But what's cool is it's also releasing on PC. So it's on PS5 and PC. And that's a good way to play those games if you haven't yet. I haven't played the DLC, so part of me is curious on that one. Have you played any of the Uncharted games or seen
I
those?
haven't.
Okay.
I mean, well aware of them. I just haven't tried them out myself.
They're great. They're Naughty Dog. So the folks that made, The Last of Us and Crash Bandicoot and all those guys. It's a great game. It's like a movie, They're like playable movies with like decent action gameplay. So definitely check that out.
We got the movie coming out of the playable movie.
I'm not sure about that one.
That was a little rough.
Every video game adaptation movie so far has not been great.
I saw that was Sony's kind of long con to make sure that Tom Holland never stops being Spider-Man by tanking everything else in his career.
It's not a bad move, but I think Tom Holland probably has enough money from playing Spider-Man that he'll be all right.
Yeah.
He's got that Disney money now. He can do what he wants to. And, back in the day, I feel like when you played a superhero, it was like it ruined your career, but I feel like that's not the case anymore.
Yeah, now it's like a launching pad.
Yeah, if everyone knows you as, Doctor Strange, you can go do anything else you want to as well. But it'll still be hard, All right. February, we have a few more games. So we have Dying Light 2. And you said, never mind, Stalker, never mind. Dying Light 2 Stay Human comes out on all platforms on February 4th, which it comes out on Switch. I don't know how that's going to run, but it's coming out.
Oh, that might be a cloud version, actually.
Yeah. How do you have you played a cloud game on Switch?
I did the demo, like the free demo for Control.
What'd you think?
And it worked. What was weird is the opening cutscene was super choppy, but as soon as I got into actual gameplay, like it was pretty smooth. It worked pretty well, but it was also like that opening scene is just you're in an office building, not much happening, so who knows?
Are you? Do you have EPP?
No, I do not. It's not out here.
Okay, well there you go. That's a testament to cloud gaming. Then you don't have the best of the best Wi-Fi, and you were able to achieve that. So
that's true.
Good for you. But I'm not a big Dying Light guy, so I don't know if I'll play this one or not. But
yeah, neither here.
If you like the zombies and parkour, definitely one you should check out. I know folks like that one. Sifu, which is a PlayStation exclusive and PC, comes out February 8th. This is like you're like moving through like 2D planes almost, and you're just beating the crap out of people. This one looks kind of cool.
This one looks really cool to me.
Yeah,
I think it looks awesome.
Yeah, the combat looks neat. Definitely one that I'm hoping will be a lower price point, just based on what I'm seeing. Like I could see this being like a $40 game, and being like, I'll pay for that, or maybe even 20. I don't know how short or long it's going to be. But one weird thing about this is like, for however long you survive, I think your hair grows and you like become older, or each time you die, there's like,
Yeah, I think it's every time you die, you age up like a year.
yeah, yeah. So, by the time, if you die a lot, you could be having like a huge, just long, gangly gray beard and you're just beating the crap
Hmm.
out of dudes still. I was like, that sounds kind of fun, actually. As long as the beard physics are good, it'll be a good show.
There you go.
Horizon Forbidden West, February 18th. This is a big release for PlayStation, probably the biggest release that's really confirmed this year. It's their big tentpole IP that sort of came out of Guerrilla, which previously I've been doing Killzone games for them. So
Hmm.
I, as much as I am a PlayStation fan, I do not like Horizon. I am not
Oh,
a
okay.
Horizon fan. And I had this realization with Landry. I'm writing a piece about this right now, but I think I just realized I really don't. I'm not in love with like realistic open world games.
Interesting.
I can handle like cell shaded, artistic, or like just a certain style of open world. But I think past a certain point, when it becomes like when they're trying to like do realistic stuff, even though I know like giant robot dinosaurs is not realistic, the
Sure. Yeah.
character models and like the emotion they're trying to put into these, like I just something gets lost on me, and I just
Huh.
I get so burnt out on these kinds of
Is
games.
it like a suspension of belief thing, or?
Yeah, it's like an uncanny valley, and it's kind of like it's maybe it's like an aversion to like I feel like I'm almost playing a sim sometimes. I was like I'm
Hmm.
not trying to
Hmm.
play a sim right now. Like I'm just trying to play a game that's like cool and like
Yeah,
does things that I can't do in real life, and like when the game's like, "Hey, go fetch these chickens," it's like, "What?" It's like, "Okay, I don't want to do this right now." I don't know why, like I can handle it for a little bit, but I get burnt out on those kinds of games, like
I gotcha.
Assassin's Creed, Red Dead Redemption, like these massive games I just have a hard time with.
Sure. I kind of felt that getting into Red Dead Redemption 2, which is a game I love, but starting out where it like just hoses you with all of this tutorial stuff. It gets to a
hmm
point where like if you eat too much, you'll get fat.
Yep.
It's like you can get too fat?
don't
That
don't
I
forget to pet
almost
your
dropped
horse.
it. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's just I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is, but let me ask you, did you finish Red Dead Redemption 2?
I did.
Okay.
That was kind of like I piddled around and then realized how long the game was and just bolted to each story mission from then on.
Right. And so did you enjoy that experience? Like bolting to each story mission was like that was that a better path for you than just trying to do side missions?
I did, but I think I did get really invested into the story itself.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what got me through to the end.
I think that's what I have to do in those kinds of games. Like I think as a person who's going to commit wholly into like one thing and just do everything, like the ones that like try to give you so much stuff to do, I get overwhelmed and I'm like, "No, dude, I just don't. Like I can do that for Zelda. I can do
Yeah,
that for certain games that I really care about, but when it's a game that I don't have a real connection to, I'm just like I don't want to do this. Like
yeah.
I don't care about this.
It just kind of becomes work.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm hoping that's not the case for this game, and maybe I can approach it in that manner and just be like,
Sure.
I'm going to play the story. I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm just going to say I've played it. But yeah, that's coming out on the 18th. Not to down talk it, it's going to be a great game from what I've seen, and these games always review very well, so I imagine it's going to be great. Um, Elden Ring, which is a big release for all the platforms. This is From Software's next big title, I think, after their Dark Souls remasters that they've been doing, or Demon
Hmm.
Souls remaster. And
Where?
this one in particular is special because it has, oh gosh, what's his name right now? I should know.
Oh, George R. R. Martin.
George R. R. Martin, Game of Thrones writer, who helped out with the story on this one a bit, and maybe a little
Mhm.
bit of like the characters. But have you seen the gameplay for this? What are your thoughts on this one?
Um, Seen some stuff. I am probably not much into like I've not really into Souls games at all or Bloodborne or anything like that. So
hmm
it's not on my radar. A lot of arms in this one. Way too many arms in that trailer.
I should have had some
Um,
footage for that one. That would have been a great moment to pull that up. Too many arms. Um,
what do you think?
yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Supposedly this is the more approachable game that
Okay.
the most approachable game that From Software has made. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how approachable that really is, though. But it is a game that I will keep my eyes on if I'm really feeling like I'm in the mood to just get destroyed over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It could be cool.
Everyone loves those times.
Could be cool. And I think if they do enough cool stuff with the story and the kind of like interesting enemies or whatever, like that could be something I might pick up. But yeah, Elden Ring comes out February 25th, so right near the end. Now we are in March. We have Gran Turismo 7, which I think a state of play was just announced actually for this. So we're going to get like 30 minutes of Gran Turismo 7. It's a car game. I'm not much of a car guy myself, but I know people really like Forza Horizon. And it's awesome, Forza Horizon 5. So I'm hoping that this is good for Sony. And I know there's like some like Gran Turismo diehards out there that just love this kind of game. From my understanding, I don't know if you know much about the series. From my understanding, it's always been more on the technical side. Like there's like a lot you can do with your cars. And I know you can do that in Forza as well, or Forza, however you pronounce it. But
whatever.
This one is like that as well. Very technical and really for the car fans out there. I'm sure you could jump in and play and enjoy it. But
what I feel like I've heard is that like kind of Gran Turismo has always been kind of creme de la creme for car nerds, and then more mainline Forza has kind of taken that. So it'll be interesting to see if this one kind of brings people back.
Yeah, I mean, for any PlayStation gamers out there, like here's your car game if you want it, But again, I'm not a car guy, so I'm not the one that should be talking about this either. I apologize.
And it'll look pretty.
They look great.
Car games always look good.
They always do. It's always the technical showcase for any new console. Look at these cars. Look at these graphics. These graphics. So up next, this one I'm actually curious about. Project Triangle Strategy, or just Triangle Strategy, which is next in the line of great Square Enix named games. Using the 2.5D art style, which I love, honestly.
I do. I'm not big into RPGs, but I do like that graphical style.
It's so cool.
Nice.
I don't know how they finally landed on this idea. Because, honestly, Paper Mario is kind of the same concept. It's 2D characters in like a 3D space. It's kind of what it is. But yeah, this could be cool. I'm not a big strategy guy. I like turn-based combat, but if you like anything like Advance Wars or Wargroove or Fire Emblem, this would be a game that anyone should check out.
I know a lot of people are kind of citing Final Fantasy Tactics on this one.
Yes, that is probably a much better comparison because it's the same developer. It's Square.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
So yes, that makes a lot of sense. And this is exclusive to Switch, which is pretty cool, and it comes out on March 4th. I believe Octopath did get a release on other platforms eventually, so there is a chance that this will come out later for other platforms as well, if you're looking forward to that. Up next, this one I'm excited about, and honestly, I thought it was already out when I asked you about it, but Tunic for Xbox and PC.
I was able to play the demo for this a while ago.
I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, it's very much a top-down Zelda. It's pretty similar to Death's Door, actually. I think it's got a very similar approach.
Okay, cool. Did you check out Death's Door?
I played like 20 minutes of it.
Okay.
I'll get back to it.
Okay.
I started out and decided to go back to Halo while I had some free time. But it's on my list. I'll get to it.
Hey, I respect that, man. The Halo drawl is strong. Gosh, it's so fun to just jump in those multiplayer matches and just like, I'll just play a few rounds.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, this is going to be a great game. I think the art style just really is beautiful. Very excited about just the potential that this game has, and if they ever decide to like make a sequel or do more with it, I think I'd love to see that franchise grow or this title grow. So Tunic comes out March 16th, so middle of March. That'll be a fun one. March is actually a pretty solid month for a lot of releases. So up next we have Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. Chaos.
The Chaos one.
Chaos. March 18th on all platforms. And I don't know how I feel about this game. I'm not sure about this one.
I have not many thoughts at all.
Same here. So, it could surprise us. It could be a good game. But that's one that I'm just going to wait to see what happens. I'm just going to leave that one to do its thing and let the reviewers tell us if it's good or bad.
There you go.
On March 25th, though, we have Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S, so pretty much all platforms. And this one caught my attention. I don't know if you watched the gameplay on this one when it was revealed, but it looks like a really fun like mishmash of, again, the Borderlands style stuff, but more of like the RPG like element to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm keeping my eyes on that one because if a game like sticks out to me in a preview, that usually is like a pretty good sign. Now,
Yeah.
games have stuck out to me in previews and been terrible, but most of the time they're pretty good. So
I just remember Andy Samberg voices someone in this game. That just kind of came out of nowhere
what
to me.
the heck? Okay, hold on. Tiny Tina, Andy Samberg.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's got a huge cast. It's got Andy Samberg, Will Arnett, Wanda Sykes, and Ashley Birch. That's got a great cast. Okay, yeah. So definitely, I mean, from a voice acting standpoint, that sounds awesome too. I love that. Okay, yeah. So Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, great voice actors and potentially interesting combat. You guys should keep your eyes on that one. April, we have Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, April 5th. I have not played a Lego Star Wars game in a hot minute. I just put this on here because I know a lot of folks have been like really waiting for this one. And
Yeah.
there's been some news in the industry lately that this has not been going well for this Lego developer.
Yeah.
A lot of crunch going on supposedly over there.
Feels rough. They had a new trailer come out and it looks really like, I feel like it looks really good.
Mhm.
It's a lot more depth for what you expect from a Lego game.
Mm-hmm.
Like combat combos and cover stuff and
Mhm.
just like even shooting mechanics. Like they're just doing a ton, and plus like has a ton of characters like always.
Yeah.
So I can imagine that development studio is not a great place to be.
Having a bad time. But yeah, if you're excited about Lego Star Wars, I mean that's a cool one for. I know like a lot of families, a lot of young families like the Lego Star Wars games because they're pretty approachable at a younger age, and so it's something fun to play through with your kids if that's something you are interested in. So, Lego Star Wars, check it out. Now, May, we have Forspoken, which is this like really like fast-paced magic action RPG looking game, and I don't really know how I feel about this one either. It looks really cool, but that's one I'm thinking I'm gonna have to see more of to actually tell you if I like it or not. You know, because
Yeah.
again, that's one where the trailer looks cool, but I'm like, I don't know if I believe that's how it's gonna always look or how it's always gonna play.
Yeah, that's fair. I just remember looking at this trailer and there's a lot of banter going on, but like not really good banter.
Mm-hmm.
And that feels like that would get grating after a while.
Like Guardians of the Galaxy, man. Oh gosh.
I haven't played that. Actually, I'm still interested.
Well, I wish I could lend you my copy, but I have the PS5 copy.
That's fine.
I finished it, and I did not like that game. I did not like that
really?
at all. That was another one where I was just like, please just get this over with. And like the banter was grating near the end.
Okay. I've heard mixed things on that. Some people like it a lot.
Some people love it. Yeah.
Just don't.
Yeah. I think if you are a fan of the IP and you like read the comic books, then you should definitely check it out. I like the movies, but I was always just kind of like, yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. And this was just like, yeah, another one of those things where I'm just like, I'm not invested in this. Like, just get me through the story. Like, I don't care. And it just felt like it was very repetitive. So, yeah, hopefully it's Forspoken does not fall in the same pitfalls. Because if that's the case, then I'm definitely going to skip that one. I'm out.
There you go.
Okay. August 23rd, we have Saints Row, the reboot for all platforms. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about the Saints Row team anymore. I haven't played a Saints Row game ever, but I know at one point, like in the mid 2000s, Saints Row was a huge deal, and everyone loved it because it was like GTA but better because you could do so many crazy things.
Right. Yeah, this one kind of feels like it'll pass by.
Yeah,
it'll be a game. People will like it.
Yeah,
and
Who knows? I think sadly, once that happens, that'll be the last Saints Row game that we see. I think this will be the make or break title for Saints Row going forward.
Okay.
Sadly, I'm calling it right now. I don't know anything about games or industry stuff, but I'm going to call it right now. Saints Row. Not going to happen if this doesn't work.
Rip in peace.
Rip in peace. R.I.P. in pieces. All right, November. This is a big one here. We got Starfield coming out on November 11th for all Xbox platforms and PC.
Do you think this is going to come out on that date?
I think so, man. I
Okay.
really do. I really think it's going to come out because was this announced before or after the Bethesda acquisition?
Um, the release date was announced after, because that was, I think they did it in E3.
Mm-hmm. And
Um,
Starfield had been announced, but it wasn't. They weren't. Hadn't been acquired yet by Microsoft, right?
right.
So I feel like they've been working on this for a while, and I know that like Xbox is really going to want to have this game out this year. Like
Yeah.
they're really going to want to get this one out. So I think they're going to give them as much development support as they need to make that game ship on time.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That's how I feel about
Yeah.
it. I don't know you.
I it makes sense they would like kind of a hell or high water mentality. It was just so surprising, like of last June of them kind of shot calling November 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a bold move, but it's
Okay.
also like with the benefit of like day one Game Pass sort of stuff. Like I feel like you kind of get some grace to have an unfinished game.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, they
because
could
like
release it in batches or something like that.
yeah, like and people might be more willing to overlook that if it's like not quite fully baked yet.
Well, and Bethesda games are always never quite quote fully baked.
That's true.
There's
Yeah.
always some jank in those games. Hopefully not so much that it's unplayable. But now that you mention it, though, like we really haven't seen a lot. Like I mean, I know they had that like cinematic trailer that looked really cool, but we don't know. We don't know what this game's going to be and what it's going to look like and how it's actually going to play yet at all.
It's in space.
And
I like space.
we're only almost a year away from that. Not even less than a year. 8 months, I guess. 9 months. I don't know how to do math. But 10 months, I guess technically. November, January. Yes. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this one. But I'm excited.
I'll give it a shot. So.
I'm excited. I mean, you think it's gonna be a day one Game Pass?
Yeah, I think so. I think they've confirmed that. I'm pretty sure.
That's pretty awesome.
And I've got my eye on it. We'll see kind of what it shapes up to be.
Alrighty. Well, hey, as long as they avoid the pitfalls again of all the open world RPGs that I don't like, then hey, I'll check it out.
There you go.
I'll check it out on PC maybe or something like that, or maybe I'll have an Xbox by then. Who knows? And then last, you moved this one to December. Stalker, which is an acronym. Does that stand for anything?
I looked it up. This is the dumbest video game name I've ever seen.
I agree.
It is an acronym. It's like different, like the S is scavengers, and then the rest of them are like different professions and whatever.
Okay. I get it. Any reasons if this game was slated for April 28th and they just pushed it back to December 8th, that means that this game is in some rough shape or is just doo-doo, and they're like, we gotta do something with this. But I'm not familiar with the first one. I don't know. How do you feel about this game being an Xbox title? I guess.
Kind of the conversely to Starfield. This will come out on Game Pass, and it'll stay on Game Pass for me.
It'll always be there. If it's really good, I will take a look.
Yeah, can wave as it passes by.
Goodbye, Stalker 2. Goodbye, scavengers. I can't even think of actual professions that would fit in there. What technician maybe? There you go.
Oh, there might have been one actually. Yeah.
Ugh.
I don't know.
Just gross. That's acronyms, and especially long ones. You don't need a long acronym like that.
Yeah.
All right, so those are all the confirmed dates. That's it. Like I said, pretty skimpy year, but there are some 2022 like slated titles that I'm pretty excited about. And so we'll kind of run through these, and then I think we'll just kind of scooch back to some ones that we are excited about. Does that sound cool?
Sounds good.
All right. So we have to be confirmed: Advance Wars 1 and 2 reboot camp, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, Bayonetta 3, Cyberpunk 2077 next gen updates, which I've been waiting for. Fall Guys for Switch and then Xbox One, which is really cool because I just played that recently and that game's still a good time. Ghostwire Tokyo, God of War Ragnarok, Gotham Knights, Hogwarts Legacy, Hollow Knight Silk Song, question mark, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Metal Slug Tactics, Multiversus, Prince of Persia The Sands of Time remake, ooh, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel, Lord of the Rings Gollum, The Witcher 3 next gen upgrade, which is crazy. I guess we're not that crazy because we got Skyrim not too long ago. Sonic Frontiers, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Splatoon 3, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
Oh, yeah.
So on that list, there's a lot of titles that I'm excited about. Which ones are you like? Let's just start with you. Which ones are you like kind of most pumped about?
I'm gonna get the obvious one last. I think.
Yeah.
We can just go to it. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, the sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, whatever they're calling it right now.
Yeah. Oh man, I cannot wait. November release date probably.
I hope so. There's a lot of talk if it'll be this year or next year. I'm trying to stick with this year just to will it into existence.
Please be this year. If it gets delayed, it's okay. You know, but man, I would love to be playing Zelda this year.
Yeah.
It just feels right. You know, it just feels right. It's been 5 years since we got the other Zelda, which is kind of crazy to think about. Breath of the Wild.
I did the math, and I keep on trying to check this. If it comes out August or later, it will have been the same gap of time between Breath of the Wild 1 and 2 as it was from Skyward Sword to Breath of the Wild.
Wow.
Like 5 years, 8 months, I think.
And Nintendo,
5 months.
They kind of like to stick to their cycles. They like to stick to their gaps of time. They don't always do that, but typically it was like you could like count on Nintendo always having a new system every certain amount of years, and like But then the Wii happened, and like I don't know how long that thing stayed alive, but it was a long time.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait. I mean, there's just we already talked about Breath of the Wild, but the sequel at least. But I mean, there is nothing that game can do that will stop me from playing it. You know, if I'm playing Pokemon Legends Arceus, like which is kind of looking like doo-doo and like, you know, it's rough around the edges, like Breath of the Wild could be just like that or worse, and I would still play it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go next. For me, Hogwarts Legacy is a huge excitement for me.
Okay.
I think nothing really exciting has been done with the Harry Potter license, and this one looks really promising, and I know they've been working on it for a very long time. So I have hope that it'll be like pretty decent, and if it's kind of like, you know, Persona meets like Hogwarts, you know, you're like making friends in school and, you know, fighting and doing magic and stuff on the side and kind of exploring that area, like that's all I could ask for, you know, just the ability to like navigate Hogwarts and walk through it and like go to the different like halls and classrooms. Like it just be kind of cool to walk around, honestly.
That's the dream, I think, for Harry Potter fans.
Mm-hmm.
Makes total sense.
And from what it looks like they're kind of committing to that realistic sort of, you know, lived in or sort of like universe. So I hope that's good, and I hope it comes out this year. But I don't know. They recently came out and reiterated that it is going to be coming out this year.
Okay.
But there's a lot of speculation and like, is it going to come out this year? I don't know. Same thing as like Starfield. Like we haven't really seen a lot of that game. You know. It's just like, is it though?
Because that also it got a pretty significant delay. I think it was supposed to come out 2020 or 21.
Yeah. And then COVID times and whatever else happened. They probably just were like, yeah, we need some more time. We can make this better. So, yeah.
There you go.
I'm for that. All right. Next.
I am really excited for Fall Guys. Not being a PlayStation person, I've like watched this from afar with envy because it looks so fun. It looks so goofy.
It is fun.
I would love it. I'm just because that was supposed to come out on Switch and Xbox last summer, and then Epic bought them. Oh. And I don't know if that like put a halt on the ports or maybe this was the way it was always going to happen.
Interesting.
But I'm waiting.
Yeah. And that's like a great Game Pass game.
Hmm.
That game was big on PlayStation, kind of like Rocket League because it came out on PlayStation Plus, and it was just like,
Yeah.
dang, this is like a huge, fun little like party game where you can get together with your friends and just hang out. It's not like it doesn't require a ton of focus. You still have to be like
Yeah.
good at platforming, but it's a fun game. I will say, don't get your hopes too high on terms of like replayability, because like once you've gone through most of the levels, they're all kind of it starts to feel kind of samey after a while.
Gotcha.
But
That's fair.
but for the time that you're learning all the levels and just experiencing them like differently, it's so much fun, especially with friends. Like it's a great time.
Yeah.
It's a great
Makes
time.
sense. Yeah, I'm hoping it gets a second wind. It might have had
Oh, it
its
will.
time to the limelight.
No, I think
But
it will. I think it will.
okay.
It was huge on Twitch too. Like I remember like a lot of folks playing that game and just having a fun time with it. So I imagine that'll be coming up, and making a splash again. All right, next for me, I'm gonna say an easier one, but my emotions around this are pretty tempered actually. God of War Ragnarok.
Okay.
The original, the re-release or the one on 2018 was just so good. Everyone loved it, was obsessed with it. And again, it's a game that's concise, knew what it wanted to do, didn't have any pandering stuff you had to go and chase down. Like it was just like, hey, here's a really great story and a good-looking game that you can just kind of bust through.
Yeah.
I hope it's more of that, but my fear is that it's gonna suffer from like every property that's had a sequel. It's just like the first one was amazing, or like, oh wow, really like just caught us off guard, didn't expect it, and the second one's gonna be like, oh, it's more of the same. Like, yeah, it's good. Like it's good.
Yeah.
I do like that Cory Barlog, the director of the first one, stepped away from doing like the main directing on this one, and he had somebody else come in and direct this game, so it will not be
Okay.
from a directorial standpoint feel the same.
Gotcha.
Um,
I hadn't realized he was involved with the 2018
yeah,
version too.
yeah.
Gotcha.
He was the main guy in charge on that one. I mean, there was many other people that made that game amazing, obviously,
Sure.
but he stepped away from this one so somebody else could make it different and make it better than what he did. So hopefully they do that, and like the setting looks cool. So I'm excited for that. That'll be a fun one just to kind of, they're pretty condensed. I hope that it's a condensed campaign too. Like 20 hours around that time is like my threshold usually for those kinds of games. So
Sure. Yeah.
all right, next.
I can do a quick one. I'm really intrigued by Lord of the Rings Gollum. I love the Lord of the Rings universe. This is just such a weird idea for a game.
Yep.
Like, would not have expected this. I didn't really love the Shadow of Mordor games.
Yeah.
So, but this one looks good. You get to kind of just go around Middle Earth and Mordor as Gollum.
There was
Stealth game.
There was something that was just announced recently. Yeah, it's a stealth game, but there was something else announced around this that gave me hope about the gameplay. It could have been like the stealth elements of it and stuff like that.
I know there's like narrative stuff to it too, where you can kind of choose whether to go with like Gollum or Smeagol personality choices.
Interesting. Yeah, to choose Gollum as your main character, so interesting.
Yes.
I don't know why they would do that. But yeah, that's gonna be a great game, and I hope the music's again. That's one where the music has to be pretty amazing.
Oh yeah,
pretty amazing. Or else it'll be a letdown. All right, I'm gonna name off just like a few more that I'm excited about, and then we can probably close it out here. I think for me, on this list, the other ones I'm like really looking forward to would be Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. I loved the original on that one. I think that's going to be a great game. And then Cyberpunk 2077, just like the next gen console. I've been waiting for that patch since the mess that 2077 was. And I was like, I'll just wait till they fix it. And they kept on pushing it out and pushing it out and pushing it out. And now they're making, CD Projekt Red is also making The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt next gen version. I'm like, guys,
priorities here. Come on,
fix this game first. Maybe they
realize.
realize.
Do you feel like that might fall into the open world trap for you? Or Are you worried
Oh,
about
it absolutely will. It
that?
absolutely will.
Okay.
But the benefit here is that I can probably only pay like $10 for Cyberpunk. Get the
That's
next
fair.
gen,
Yeah.
get the next gen upgrade, and just mess around in there. Just kind of see what they're doing with it. Maybe just spend some time with Keanu Reeves, and then just be like, okay, cool, yeah, that's the game.
Had your
You
fun.
know,
Yeah.
because yeah, I think I will absolutely fall into the open world trap in that one. It just looks like way too much. There's just
Yeah. Yeah.
so much crap you can do in that game. So yeah, I think for me, that's we hit all the ones that I'm like the most pumped about. Is there anything else on there you want to give honorable mention to?
Um, brief, just like in passing, Splatoon 3 is more Splatoon. Got my
Yeah.
eye on it. But more, I think what I'm actually am keep forgetting about this and very excited for it is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. I have just very fond memories of playing Turtles in Time at our Chuck E. Cheese as a
hmm
kid, and this just looks like the glow up of that, and
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
This game looks so good, like from a pixel art standpoint, and they just nailed it. They just completely
Yeah,
nailed it. Like it's gonna play fun. And is it co-op? Can you play with multiple people? I
I
hope
think
so.
so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
I imagine they'll do local and online.
Oh yeah,
They'd
they
be
have to.
fools not to.
Actually, I'm almost certain I've seen gameplay of like multiple turtles on screen. So yeah, I'm dumb for asking that question. But that game's gonna be great. I love those kinds of games. Did you ever play Castle Crashers?
No, I didn't.
Mm.
I know I did.
You might like that. I think it actually might be on Game Pass, or it might be backwards compatible. Like you could probably find that title somewhere. Just download it really quick.
Yeah, I think that was like an old Xbox Live Arcade classic.
It
That's kind of
was.
where it got its.
It
Gotcha. Okay.
was. That was like I mean I was an Xbox 360 guy, and I loved that game. That was just so
Okay.
fun. You just invite your friends over, and it was just like it was so unique for the time. Like the animation, it was kind of like how Cuphead took over the world, and was just like everyone was so
Hmm.
impressed by it. The isometric like 2 player, or multiplayer kind of game. It's great. It's great.
Nice. Give it a look.
But yeah, that's 2022. So I guess overall, right now, if this was like all we were gonna get, I would say this is a pretty strong year for video games. Like there's some pretty cool stuff
If
coming out.
if we get Breath of the Wild 2, then it's automatically a strong year.
Yeah. If we don't get it, then
Terrible.
there's still some stuff in there that's
B
good.
minus.
Starfield, God of War, Hogwarts, Horizon. Like those are the big tent poles this year. Splatoon 3. But yeah, really
Yeah.
the biggest missing point here, I think, is Nintendo. Like I know. Oh, Kirby is not on this list. Where is Kirby?
Oh,
Where is Kirby at?
that's in March, 25th, I think.
Yeah, Kirby should be on there. So sorry, I forgot about
Oh,
Kirby. But I'm excited about that game too. I'm interested in
yeah.
what that's going to be.
That looks great.
It looks really cool. I can't believe I forgot that. But outside of Kirby, really, yeah, I was just gonna say like Splatoon 3. Like I'm not super hot on, and Kirby can really go either way. It can be really
Hmm.
cool, or just be like, okay, yeah, this is a Kirby game. But Breath of the Wild, if that comes out, then
There we go.
it's gonna be a great year. And then we'll get the next whatever Nintendo console is next year, and the cycle will continue. It'll be great. But I think that's it, man. Unfortunately, guys, that's gonna be the end of our podcast. So, Mark, thank you so much for jumping on today and talking about 2022.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
It was
man,
a good time.
always a pleasure. If you guys are still listening and you're made it to the end of the podcast, be sure to check out BitBloggist.com to see any new content that's on there. And follow us on Twitch. We're streaming some more on there, playing some video games, and you can just come hang out, say hello, and we'll be doing some multiplayer stuff with Mario Kart and or Smash Bros. In the near future. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that if you want to beat up on me in the virtual world. And send any emails to bitcast@bitbloggist.com to have your questions or comments read off on the show. Until next time, though, this has been BitCast. Thanks for tuning in to talk about some stuff. Peace.
Do, 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 do.